Welcome back, folks. Right, you're with us here at Rugby TV. We've got we're moving on now. Brackenfell, of course, playing against Hamiltons. Jerome, what are you looking to see now in this game? You've seen the first half. Of course, Brackenfell's got a home ground advantage. You saw the first half. I mean, you were quite positive about what you were seeing there, saying basically you're seeing really two top teams going head to head. What are you looking for now?
I think between the two teams, I think my halftime talk will be, guys, we're playing too much rugby now in our own half, in our own 22.
Yeah.
Let's get to their 22. Let's hold on to the ball. We get away with a penalty or a try. Let's get some points on the board.
All right. Well, let's see if either of those sides did that. Let's take a look now, folks. Second half, Brackenfell, Hamiltons. Right, there we go. Jerome, I'll go straight to you on this one. Final result then, Brackenfell, Hamilton's 20 all. I didn't want to give it away just before the break there, but I mean, where we're now, this is Hamilton's second draw.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, pretty much a true reflection of the game. The way the game went the first half, it sort of went on the same the second half. I just think that both teams they play a lot of rugby on a field like that, and the field is muddy. They try to run from their own 22, which there was a lot of kick space, which I could see on the thing. So obviously, I don't think the coaches did the perfect job there in playing to them. Or maybe they tell the guys what to do, but the guys get into a zone and don't play in the right part of the field. So I think that that's a true reflection of the game, and I must actually commend the referee there. A lot of times referees guess in the scrum. I saw he penalised Hamiltons because they stood up in the scrum. Brackenfell was still down under their poles. It's brave of the ref to give the penalty to Brackenfell, but that was good. So I think the referee was also spot on, was great refereeing in this game also.
Yeah. So what will both Brackenfell, I mean, Brackenfell and Hamiltons, what will they be looking for to go to next out of this, looking at this? I mean, how do you measure this, considering that it was such an equal game?
As I say, JP, is for them to identify where they are on the field, and I'm not a guy that like kicking, but in the circumstances that we are now, it's winter and it's wet, you have to equip your players because the forwards are going to get tired trying to run from their own 22, from their own try line. Get them, kick the ball, maybe the opposition team make a knock on, you get a scrum, you can attack from there. But I think both teams, that's the advice that I would say, like look where you are on the field and just play in the right space of the field. Yeah,
well, let's take a look now at some of the results in Super League A. Well, you can see it, well, Brackenfell, of course, 20-20 against Hamilton, so it was a draw. We're going to do the Villagers Unimill game in a second. We won't announce the score right now. And then St. George's 24-21 over Hamlets. We'll talk about the logs in a second or so. Faisal, but St. George's will be happy with that result, 24-21 over Hamlets. Hamlets at home ground advantage. St. George's had a long trip on the bus, a long drive.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, it's always tough going out there to Momri and playing against Hamlets, and also playing, you know, the crowd as well. You know, add that extra support, you know, for the home team and that there. So again, I think, you know, looking at the results, looking at the logs and stuff, I think it's, you know, it's fantastic to see how close it is and how competitive it is. I think, you know, everybody has still got hopes, and everybody there's uncertainty. Normally, after 6-7 games, you sort of have an idea in terms of what's happening. But now, you know, it's still anybody's game.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick look at the logs then in Super League A. Of course, we don't want to give away too much of the Villagers Unimill game. But you can see currently UCT sitting top of the pile, still sitting at number 1. Brackenfell, even though they drew over the weekend, is sitting at number 2 on the log. And interestingly enough, Jerome, Brackenfell's got a game in hand.
Yeah, they've got a game in hand, but quite an interesting lock. If you look at Brackenfell is number 2, and you look at Unimill, Brackenfell has got 17 points. Unimill have played 3 games, they've got 10 points. So, Faisal, I think that lock is very interesting.
Very, very, very interesting. I mean, you're looking at the bottom as well. Who would have expected? You know, you're seeing, normally you'll see a Falsby at the top, you know, 4-5, and you got Falsby at the bottom there. So, you know, it's going to be very tight. I think, you know, there's still, you know, the great thing, you know, the one thing I also want to say, JP, is like, you know, we had a lot of discussions about the competition and the format, and the one thing I always say is you can't adjust the competition. You know, the teams need to adjust in terms of making it exciting. And I think what we see now is basically the excitement in terms of what we've been looking for.
Well, it's fascinating. Once you start looking at the numbers, I mean, if we even look at a team like Durban, they've only played, and Durban and Unimill have only played 3 games this season. It's still a long way to go. And okay, False Bay also only 4, but it's starting to get momentum now.
Yeah, it's only UCT with the amounts of points, but also the games that they've played. So I think teams are going to have to catch up with them.
Yeah. Well, folks, as always, it doesn't matter what time of the season it is. If you're towards the bottom of the log, it starts to become a little bit scary. And I'm sure that some of our teams will be thinking, boys, we just have to survive. Folks, when we come back from the break, we're going to be taking a look at that big game, Unimill against Villagers. We'll put Jerome Parvater on the spot in a minute or so after his predictions about the barometer. But I must say, I'm guilty on that front as well. We'll take a break. Don't go away.